I always say that a healthy microbiome is going to equal healthier and faster healing skin.
If you haven't seen it work, how are you going to say that it works? Right? Like, that's the thing. You got to see it for your own eyes.
I actually had like tears in my eyes and I was trying not to cry because we were seeing results. But the fact that her skin transformed between month 4 and 5 like this is absolutely insane.
Hi everyone, this is Isabel, co-founder and creator of SIV, and this is the SIV Skin Microbiome series where we highlight the important role that the skin microbiome plays in healing stubborn skin conditions. Today we have Caitlyn Stephenson on the show. She's a practicing esthetician for 3.5 years now, located in Lewiston, New York, which is 30 minutes north of Buffalo. And she has a special focus in acne, pigmentation, and age management. I'm super excited for you guys to see her amazing before and after. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, so we are here with Caitlyn. I'm so excited to talk with you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, you have been getting amazing before and afters. The before and afters that you have sent me are seriously mind-blowing. So you have really mastered how to use the product. It's clear. So I'm obsessed with that, and we'll definitely get into one of your amazing before and afters that you've allowed us to share here. But first, do you remember how you found us? Or how did we get connected? Do you remember?
So I saw someone posting on Instagram and I was like, wait, there's a gap in my practice. I need something for the microbiome. And so I reached out, and then we actually hopped on a quick phone call, and I immediately was like, wait, I need this. So I got my hands on it, started incorporating in my practice, and the rest is history.
Oh my God. Amazing. Yeah. And tell me a little bit about, like, where does the microbiome fall into your practice? How what drove you to even want to explore SIV?
Yeah. So honestly, the skin microbiome, I feel like we don't learn a lot about it in school, but it's going to play a huge role in literally every single client. It does not matter their skin concerns, just because as we know, the skin thrives off balance. So when the skin is off balance and there's that disruption, it can contribute to certain skin conditions, and it can slow down that healing process. And so I always say that a healthy microbiome is going to equal healthier and faster healing skin. And even if you don't have any skin concerns, having that balance within the microbiome is going to be phenomenal, and you'll watch your skin transform in ways that you didn't even know that you were looking for.
That is so true. I love that, because we're seeing even now with the product, like the more that we use it on, the more we're realizing, oh my God, this is helping with this condition, or it's helping with this condition. Like you said, even things that you didn't even know that your skin was missing, it's starting to address those concerns, which is just the craziest thing. Even like spots and stuff like that, like aging stuff is one of the most surprising things that we've found, because the serum doesn't have anything in it that's exfoliating. There's nothing that should indicate for anti-aging, yet in our Visia scans, we've seen a reduction in the true skin age, and we've seen a reduction in spots, and we've seen an improvement in wrinkle depth and pore size, like all of these things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see from a microbiome focused product. Yet it's having these real impactful results. And of course, with inflammation and things like that, we knew that that was going to be a huge home run. But the aging stuff was really interesting to me. So I'm excited to even dive more into that as far as company research and stuff like that.
Yeah. And when it comes to aging and reverse and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of products are typically exfoliating, and some people's barriers aren't, at that point where we can incorporate these stronger ingredients. So the fact that the ingredient deck is so short, and it's kind of right to the point and gives you what you need and nothing more, is actually so amazing for the skin.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that it was going to be used on compromised skin, so I wanted to make it as gentle as possible, as skin identical as possible, something that everybody could use, super universal. So yeah, it's so awesome. And speaking of compromised barriers, I know someone that may have a compromised barrier here. So we are going to jump over to your incredible before and after. I'm so excited for the people to see this, because it is so awesome. Okay. Insane. 5-month transformation. Her skin looks like, when I saw this, when I tell you my mind was blown, it was like the actual emoji, coming out of the top of my head. I could not believe it. It was so good. So, okay, let's start from the beginning with this client. Like, how long has she been a client? Give me a little background around her, like struggle with her skin, and, you know, kind of walk me through a little bit of her history.
Yeah. So my beautiful client, she came to me back in August, and that is the before picture. And, you know, she went to the dermatologist just because, you know, this inflammation, she's never dealt with anything like this before. Her skin was basically the after. And then literally out of nowhere, her skin just started showing a lot of inflammation, a lot of papules, a lot of pustules. And she wasn't someone who's like dealt with acne before. So something that was just like very out of the ordinary for her. And she wanted to explore other options instead of, you know, topical prescriptions. And so she came on in, we did a little consult, we did some like barrier repair just to make sure we're taking it low and slow, because again, healthy microbiome, healthier skin, faster healing. And then we noticed a significant decrease in her inflammation across the 5 months. She was coming in monthly, so every 4 weeks. And once we got to about month 4, her skin transformed, but there was still some like pustules present and still some inflammation. Like it was still textural, and you know, we were obviously happy, but we needed a little boost. And I was like, hear me out. Incorporate this into your routine and let's see what happens. And literally when she came in the following month, which is the after picture, I actually had like tears in my eyes and I was trying not to cry because we were seeing results. But the fact that her skin transformed between month 4 and 5 like this is absolutely insane. The inflammation, as you can tell, is like almost completely gone. And it's just like, and this is after I've removed her sunscreen like makeup because she wears color science. So you have to think with cleansing, we're already moving the skin, increase the blood flow. So I honestly don't even think that inflammation that we see was like really present. I think we kind of just stirred that up with cleansing. So I'm like, SIV's my magical juice that I give my clients.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Just blown away. I mean, and it really speaks to how SIV can incorporate into a routine, right? Because there's so many products, amazing products out there that are formulated specifically for the barrier and to repair the barrier and reduce the inflammation that we'll see from that aspect. But then adding SIV in and kind of solving for some of these issues in the barrier that are being driven by the microbes, that's a real catalyst for change, because there's really, I don't think, any product on the market that's actually able to address the microbes in the way that SIV is. And so we talk a lot about like leaky skin, right? Well, leaky skin's a big driver of a lot of this inflammation. And when you have leaky skin, which is essentially when the barrier becomes eroded from those microbes, what'll start to happen is the barrier focused products, they can't always work to their full potential because they constantly have something acting against them, which is these microbes. And it's really hard for a product to rebuild the barrier faster than these microbes can erode it. So one of the main mechanisms that SIV is doing is it's stopping that erosion. So now the amazing barrier focused products you have them on can reach a new level and reach their full potential. And I feel like this is such a great representation of that, because like you were saying, you've already been treating her, you had her on a routine, and then you added SIV into that routine. And that was a huge catalyst for change.
100%. And I honestly think in order to get to her after in this picture, it probably would have taken us a couple more months, if that. And honestly, I feel like SIV is literally the only reason why we were able to get her those results that quickly.
Yes.
Because as we know, you know, treating the skin does take time. Most of the time things don't appear overnight, so they're not going to go away overnight. But the fact that even some of my clients, you know, they're on SIV and within 24, 48 hours, they're like, I've been dealing with this like eye eczema for literally years. And the fact that you just gave me one product that has a couple ingredients in it, made it disappear overnight, like how is that even possible? Then I like nerd out and like explain to them all the science, and they're like, just give it to me. I want more. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, amazing. I love it. Now, walk me through a little bit of her routine. What was her home care? And then if you don't mind sharing what you did in the treatment room, that's up to you. I don't want to like, you know, take anyone's secret sauce and put it out there. So anything that you can share with us to maybe help other estheticians if they're seeing something like this, like what tips could you give them, or what else did you have her on? Where was SIV incorporated? Did she use it once a day, twice a day? Give us like a little bit of a user guide around SIV, how you had her use it. And yeah, just kind of tell us some of the details there, whatever you can share.
Yeah. So with her home care, we wanted to go more simplistic, just because I personally believe that simplicity equals consistency and consistency equals results. And so she was already on like a regimen when she came in. So I allowed her to like maintain on her cleanser because I didn't believe that that was what was leading to her skin condition. So she was just on just a basic cleanser, and then we added in some hydrating and more nourishing products. So we had her on Hydra Remedy, and then we also incorporated a little bit of salicylic acid to kind of help with that inflammation and like those papules and pustules that we were seeing. Plus, she wasn't on any form of exfoliation, so I wanted to introduce something that's a little bit on the gentler side. And then literally pigment inhibitor, moisturizer, sunscreen. And that's what she was on for the first 4 months. And then once we incorporated SIV, SIV was used nightly, so every single night. And it was immediately after cleansing on clean, dry skin. I also believe that she did have hypochlorous acid in her routine as well, which I had her use, allow it to dry down fully before applying SIV to dry skin. And honestly, like a little goes a long way with the product too, which I love. And the fact that, you know, literally within a month, her skin changed. I'm like, I can't. I love it. And so I think, you know, in the treatment room, we really focused on barrier repair, extracting, because she did have, you know, some closed comedones. But a lot of barrier repair enzymes. I did do one peel around month 3, but pretty like no downtime, low inflammation, cryotherapy, a lot of like nourishing products. Sika was used a lot in the treatment room, and just very barrier repairing and restoring products.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Did you have her was she on the pigment inhibitor while she was on SIV as well?
Yeah, so she was on it, and I saw results obviously from month 1 to month 4. But once we incorporated SIV, I think it honestly allowed the pigment inhibitor to work more effectively within the skin, because that pigment literally just melted away.
When she was using that together, did she use the pigment inhibitor before or after SIV?
After SIV.
Okay, good to know. Because sometimes people like to use it before, sometimes people like to use it after. That's the thing with this product is like, you know, if it's not working for somebody one way, I'll be like, okay, why don't we switch the layering here or try it on damp skin here? Because I think different microbes respond better or worse to different usages, you know, because microbes are so smart and they're able to adapt. And so sometimes when somebody's not seeing progress on dry skin, I'll have them switch to damp skin, and that's where it works. So that's like a little note out there too. You know, if you guys are maybe not seeing the success that Katie's seeing with SIV, it might be just like switch up a couple of the user tips. You know, sometimes people like to use it before their pigment inhibitor. Sometimes people like to use it after. It just depends on that client and those microbes. And that's what we're all about here too, is obviously very customized approaches, customized treatments. Those spores really get in there and adapt to whatever your specific skin needs. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say.
I love it.
When's the last time you heard that expression? Probably never.
I think I've heard it like once.
Out in the wild, yeah.
Right.
Well, you've heard it here first, folks. Okay, amazing. So any final thoughts on this transformation? You've really walked us through a lot of detail here. So I think that everybody has everything that they need to know. But if there's anything else that you wanted to note, feel free.
Yeah, I did actually use SIV at the end of her treatments, which I know I just like talked about using it right after cleansing, but post like enzyme exfoliation, stuff like that, right before moisturizer, I did apply SIV. And even just like with my other clients, the glow that SIV gives is like phenomenal. And people the next day, they're like, I don't know what you changed with my treatment, but my skin is like completely different and in the right direction. And it's absolutely insane how everyone responds differently, but I've never had a bad experience. And the fact is like skincare is not one size fits all, but the fact that there is a product that is able to be used on all skin types and skin concerns, and it responds differently for everyone is like absolutely transformative. So I applaud you for bringing that into the industry, because you're literally changing like thousands of people's lives within like 24, 48 hours. Like that's insane.
It is insane. It is insane. Like when I tell you guys, I'm absolutely mind blown at the before and afters. Like it makes my heart explode. Like, that is the only way that I can put it. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. And like, it's so funny. Like on my Instagram stories, I'm always like going crazy, all caps, like a million emojis. I'm like, ah! But it's true. That's how I feel. And I want people to just know like how grateful I am that they're like sharing these with me and that they've used the product and that it's working. Like it's such an insane feeling. And it's hard to convey it through a screen. That's why I do all caps all the time. All right. So as we are wrapping up here, I always like to ask everybody, let's get a little crazy. Let's get a little controversial. What is a industry hot take that you have? So maybe something that you believe that the rest of the industry is like, no, or the other way around, that the industry is so bought into something and you're just like, I don't know, I'm skeptical. I don't know about this. Give me a hot take.
So hopefully I won't get canceled for this.
Okay.
But I personally, in my practice with my clients, feel that oil cleansers are not the greatest for my inflamed, acne-prone rosacea clients. No matter what, I can't get behind it. It makes everyone break out. The oil naturally gets a little bit warm, increases inflammation, and even though SIV is absolutely amazing, nothing can tear down that inflammation. So,
yeah. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. And you know what? You know what might happen is people will be like, oh, are you doing it like this? Or are you doing like that? Like maybe they'll like throw some tips in there, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe there's like a blind spot. I don't know. But hey, I love it. I think it's great. And it's your experience. So if you haven't seen it work, how are you going to say that it works? Right? Like that's the thing.
Right.
You have to have like a first person testimonial. Just because other people are saying that it works or it doesn't work, XYZ, you got to see it for your own eyes. And
right. I'm open to hearing other people's opinions and how they utilize the product, because I just have not found success.
Exactly. And it's like, right, until you see it with your own eyes, you're not going to be bought in. And I think that's completely rational and normal experience. So I love that hot take. And I bet also this is something that I've learned with SIV is like, if you hear something from one person, like if this is your experience, it's probably 100 other people's experience too. Like there's probably 100 other estheticians out there that are like, finally someone said it. Like I also don't love an oil cleanse for somebody that's inflamed and breaking out and whatnot. So you're not alone no matter what. So love it. Cool. Well, Katie, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I loved going through our case study. I think there's lots of amazing gems in there that people are really going to find interesting. And they're probably going to take your advice on, protocols and things like that. So that is fantastic. Leave us off with, where to find you, how to book with you, anything that you want to promote, anything that you want them to go and check out. Feel free to drop it here.
Perfect. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for obviously watching and for this opportunity. If you're like debating on bringing on SIV, just buy a bottle, try it for yourself. You'll be happy that you did. But you can find me on Instagram. I am Aesthetics by Katie, C-A-T-I. I'm also, on Facebook, TikTok, all of the things, the same username. And then if you're local to Western New York, or even if you want to work virtually, you can reach me at aestheticsbykatie.com, where I have an in-person and virtual program for all skin concerns.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Katie. And all of those links will be in the description of this video too, you guys. So go check her out, give her a follow. She is a wealth of information. She's a wonderful person. So yeah, go give her a follow, guys. And thanks for watching.
Bye.